Karen Taylor is the Assistant Treasurer with ACSED, which is the Association of California State Employees with Disabilities. She is a person with a disability who passionately advocates for disability rights. Karen is currently an SSM1, which is a Staff Services Manager 1 Specialist, I believe. Sorry, I may have killed that acronym. Serving as a Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Accessibility DEIA Project Manager with Covered California, where she is also the co-chair of Covered California's DAC Disability Advisory Committee and the DEI Advisory Workgroup. Karen previously worked as a training officer for the Disability Access Services at the Department of Rehabilitation, otherwise known as DOOR, and has taught multiple classes about disability. In January 2025, she was elected to serve as an ACSED board member. In ACSED, she also serves on the ACSED Education and Training Committee and the Legislative and Policy Committee. Karen holds a bachelor's and master's degree from Pacific Oaks College in Human Development and Education and Leadership. With that, I'll go ahead and hand the mic over to you, Karen. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much for having me talk about ACSED today, the Association of California State Employees with Disabilities, ACSED. And I'm here to share some wonderful information with y'all and also possibly a shameless plug for membership. So, ACSED is a nonprofit membership organization dedicated to promoting equality, equity, accessibility for individuals with disabilities employed by or people seeking employment with the state of California. I'll share with you a few legislative and policy updates. So, one of the things that ACSED does is we actively monitor um, and engage in California legislation through our legislation and policy committee. We have several committees, but I'll talk more about that in a moment. So, in 2025, our committee tracked roughly about 8 bills. We submitted letters of support or opposition and successfully supported 2 bills signed into law. And the 2 bills are Assembly Bill 470, and this bill extends remote teleconferencing provisions under the Bagley-Keene Act beyond January 1st, 2026. And this is critical for increasing public participation and accessibility for people with physical and mental disabilities. Also, Assembly Bill 323, it increases the funding for a strong workforce program to support paid work-based learning, including internships, apprenticeships, externships, and student-run enterprises. This reflects ACSED's commitment to equitable workforce access, particularly for students with disabilities and those facing barriers to unpaid learning. So, if you've had an internship, you want to get on with the state, it's going to hold a lot more credit and help get more people to work for the state of California and representing people with disabilities. ACSED is also, I'm very excited to share with you, ACSED is working with CalHR and Government Ops Agency to give feedback on the legislatively required report, specifically on when we talk about disability parity rate. And we've made suggestions of improvements for disability hiring and reasonable accommodations under the Government Code Section 19238. Um, and ACSED has also begun its board nomination process. This is consistent with our bylaws. And if you're a member, we encourage you to nominate yourself or a colleague. An email earlier in this month had gone out. We're always actively seeking new members or new board members. And we have an annual membership meeting on January 22nd at 12 o'clock via Zoom. This is an opportunity for anyone to hear organizational updates and engage directly with ACSED leadership. So if you want to know more about any bills that we're looking at, any concerns or anything, please feel free to come and join us. uh, Membership and volunteer engagement. We rely heavily upon active membership. We're a small but very mighty group. This group has been around since 1976, and we have members that first created the group still in the group. So, can you imagine all of the wealth of knowledge sharing that is there? Uh, I believe, Alex, if you could help me and put the ACSED email in there for anyone or the website information, I would really appreciate it. So here's the shameless plug. We are seeking members to support committee work, and you don't have to be a member. You can come and join our annual and special awards committee, education and training, infrastructure and administration, legislative policy, and membership outreach, which Alex is our chair of our membership and outreach committee. So thank you, Alex, for your service. In September, the Education and Training Committee hosted a 2-hour virtual training on disability disclosure with over 100 attendees. So if anyone out there attended, thank you so much for your participation. Members are invited to join the ACSED 50th Anniversary Event Planning Committee. This, like I said, we've been around for 50 years with advancing employment, retention, and promotion of people with disabilities in California State Service. Karen Chesmore, she is our chair of this subcommittee. And I know Karen Chesmore is here. So Karen, if you could put your email in there, and which where I'm shamelessly asking people to join this committee, maybe we can get some members. Finally, ACSED board voted to sponsor the October 29th, 2025 CalHR annual conference, which was themed Embracing Change with Purpose. ACSED participated by staffing an informational booth to promote our mission and work. And I just want to say in closing, ACSED's process legislatively, organizationally, and programmatically is driven by collaboration and member engagement. We appreciate continued partnerships, especially with SDAC, in advancing disability equity across California State Service. Um, Again, thank you so much for having me here. I'll put my email in here as well if anyone has any questions regarding ACSED or just any questions in general. Thank you again. Back to you, Alex.
Hi, Karen, this is Bobby. That was a great presentation. Good job of, doing a shameless pitch for ACSED. I couldn't have done that better, and I've served in Access for a couple of terms as a president. Nevertheless, good job. My follow-up question to you is, what are the key initiatives ACSED is currently working on to support state employees with disabilities? And you're
Okay,
muted,
Karen.
Karen.
No
That
worries.
always
Yeah.
happens to me. I just have so much to say and it just doesn't want to let me. Well, currently, right now, I think one of our biggest contributions is the partnership with CalHR in in basically proposing the Assembly Bill 313, which provides people with disabilities different avenues to join state service. And this, it created more classifications for LEAP. Um, Managers or supervisors can opt in to have a LEAP only certified list. It now provides, the JEP job employment program coaching. And that is, I think, I currently am a person with a non-apparent disability, and I currently am on multiple LEAP lists, and it just makes so much more of a smoother transition for myself. I still have to meet minimum qualifications. I still have to be the best and brightest to get the job, but it does take into account with people with disabilities. Um, I also, as I was saying, just having, for example, more about AB 470, this just gives people the opportunity to teleconference in to meetings and not in person. If it's, a lot of people with disabilities, people don't think about transit, about getting to a place. Maybe they have to take multiple buses. They could be a wheelchair user. It could be multiple factors. So having the opportunity to be able to do a hybrid situation where people who could make it in person or people who could, remote in virtually, it really is a game changer for people. And I do, and I don't, not meaning to put anybody on the spot, but I like to share the workload. But I do have Joyce, our current president, and Karen Chesmore, our treasurer. And I'd like to invite them to say a couple words of anything that I could be missing on our current projects. So, Karen or Joyce, do you have anything to add that I could be currently missing if you're
Oh,
willing to come on?
oh, absolutely. Karen, you did a very good job presenting
You're welcome.
for everyone today. I'm Joyce Stygas. I'm the current president for ACSED. And this coming year is one of the years when ACSED plans and organizes our training symposium. And that will be likely in the fall, probably in September. And we have formed a committee to begin prioritizing the topics of training for the various work webinar breakout groups for this coming year for the training symposium. And that's a major source of raising awareness and providing education about disability inclusion for supervisors and managers throughout state service. We will also continue to partner with CalHR and with the state chief equity officer on implementation of the various ideas that were developed throughout the past couple years. I know that CalHR is preparing to issue a legislative report on the status of implementation of Assembly Bill 313. And we were delighted to participate in a stakeholders working group on throughout the year as Brandy Blue and her team led the preparation of the legislative report. So those are a couple of items that we'll focus on this year.
Great. That's great work. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Any other questions for Karen from the audience? If
right.
not, well, thank you, Karen. Thank you, Joyce, for joining us and giving us a wealth of information about ACSED.
Thank
And
you so much for
again,
having us.
if anybody who's interested joining ACSED, they have their homepage address. Please, feel free. They're a good organization. I'm a member, so I just add in that plug on your behalf, and hopefully all of you will consider.
Yeah,
So
and just to add
thanks.
on to Bobby's plug, I'll also say that as Karen mentioned, I'm also a member of ACSED. I'm
Yeah.
also on the board of directors. So pleasure as always to see you, Joyce and Karen. As somebody mentioned in or asked in the chat about not having time to contribute to ACSED, ACSED is run as a member-funded organization. It's a nonprofit. So if somebody doesn't have time, however, they still want to support ACSED financially, membership is still very greatly appreciated.
All right. Thank you so much.